You all doing? Shine back with another video for you all. Just a quick word. I just felt like it was placed on my mind, on my heart. Um, Work-based salvation. Whenever you talk about works-based salvation, I think it's important to understand that by thinking that you do enough good works, that you're including yourself in the gospel message. You know, God's plan of salvation was his son. As far as I know, that was it. So if you're saying that, well, Christ gets me saved, but then I have to keep myself saved by doing these good works, well, then you're also including yourself in what it takes for you to be able to enter God's kingdom. So you'll have those who say, well, it's not me, it's the Holy Spirit working in me. It's God that's doing the work. And I think it's true, and I can appreciate that fact. The thing is, we still have a free will choice whether or not we are obedient in whether we follow, God or not, his Holy Spirit or not. So if we stand before God and he asks us, well, why should I let you in? We're going to say, well, because we believe on Christ and what he did for us. Now, obviously, we did have to do something. We had to believe. I'm not a universalist. I don't believe that you just are saved just by default because of what Christ did. I believe that salvation is conditional, but God's love is unconditional. So with that being the fact, there is something that we do have to do, but that is internal work. It's an internal response. So when you talk about works and works keeping yourself saved, well, you're saying, well, Jesus got me saved initially, and then I kept myself saved because I followed enough. But every time we see this type of scenario in the Bible, we see that people who figured that they did enough to be righteous in God's eyes, it turns out that they weren't. So God is not going to accept a mixed track record and think that that's going to cut it. Christ said, be holy. And he said, be perfect. So if we're to be holy like the Father, if we're to be perfect as Christ is perfect, that's what that means, be perfect. So if you're talking about still sinning, even if it's not a lot, you're still sinning. You're not being perfect. You're not doing what Christ said. So if you're banking on that, then you're not going to get in. And essentially you're including yourself in that gospel message. So, that's how I feel, as about it right now. That, if you talk about works-based salvation, you're including yourself in the gospel message. And, Paul lets us know that is a different gospel, and a different gospel doesn't save. So if you're someone who believes that, well, it's by faith alone, that's great. But then you include yourself in keeping yourself saved. Well, you're saying that I still had to do something even after all of what Christ did in order for me to be able to get in God's kingdom. And like I said, God is not going to accept a mixed track record if that's what you're saying. So I just want to come on here with a quick word. All right, love you all. Peace.